We understand several stories about humans like dolphins and heroic dogs, but it's much more difficult to imagine a lion and a huge gorilla or whale that rush to save someone. Humans live in trouble. This issue is devoted to animals who in a critical condition displayed impossible intelligence, sympathy, and strength of determination. Each of these animals saved a human life. 10 heroic animals who saved human lives from immediate death. Number 10. In 2005, the 12-year-old girl from Kenya was kidnapped by men who wanted to force her toward marriage. The child was found in the company of 3 lions who, as it aimed out, freed the hostage by shocking the kidnappers. It directed out that until the moment when the Ethiopian police arrived, the lions safeguarded the little girl about half a day. They didn't hurt her and kept an eye on her so that no one other would approach her. The animals moved only when the dependents of the Ethiopian police arrived and rescued her. Authorities advised that such a generous response of predators was encouraged by the girl's tears, which could be related to the sounds composed by lions. Number 9. On August 19, 1996, in Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. This area was hit by a 3-year-old boy. He escalated onto the fence that separated the gorillas from the spectators and fell directly to the primates. The top of the fence was 5 meters. The boy was, unfortunately, hit his head and became paralyzed. Since it took a long time for human help, the baby's rescue was taken over by a huge gorilla named Bindu Juha. She faithfully took the boy in her arms and carried it to the arrival of the cage enclosure where rescuers reached. The police and zoo workers realized that this condition could have been resolved much more dangerous. Number 8. The pig guy Lulu was a gift for a woman's birthday, but she did not like the present, and she did want to take it home. The girl's mother insecure the pig partly from pity and partially with views of the expected Easter feast. The individual natures of the pig were of no interest to anyone, but it directed out that the lack of attraction was extremely paid by imagination and even nobility. When Yuen had a heart attack, Lulu quickly located and rushed to help, or preferably ran for help. You have to acknowledge that this was a heroic performance for the pig, which was to become a feast. The important thing is that while her landlord did not have an attack, Lulu nevermore left the territory of the fenced yard, but when her landlord needed her help, she understood how to open the lunch. She rushed to the nearest highway, waited for the oncoming car and lay down in the city of the road. It had to wait long. After 45 minutes one of the car drivers stood, and went with the pig Lulu to the landlord house, where he found helpless. When the man called the ambulance and arranged to save the lady. Number 7. This incident happened in the aquarium Polar Land, which is located in the Chinese city of Harbin. During the competition, scuba divers had to dive to the depths of the aquarium with cold water where whales floated without scuba gear to a depth of around 6 meters. One of the participants was 26 years old, young named Yang Yun. As quickly as she reached the ground, her leg cramped in the icy water and was terrified. She began to suffocate. It seemed that death could not be bypassed. Luckily, a wise-looking beluga named Mila was dragging by. She elevated the girl to the surface, holding her leg with her mouth. The girl survived, and the organizer of the competition credited Mila with saving Yun's life. Number 6. Somewhere we can expect loyalty and courage from a rabbit. So it was until the day while a guy named Simon fell into a diabetic coma that could end unhappily. This occurred when Simon was relaxing on the couch in his apartment. His wife Victoria was nearby and was sure that her partner fell asleep after a hard day's work. In the apartment, there was also the rabbit Doherty, who quickly sensed that the landlord was not all right. She hopped on Simon and began to jump on him, energetically investigating to bring him back to life. Soon Victoria, his consideration was drawn to the greatly unusual performance of the pet. She realized that something was incorrect with my husband and quickly called an ambulance. Thanks to the feeling and pursuance of a normal rabbit, and human life were saved. Number 5. The long-haired cat Masha was common to all inhabitants of the residential complex in Minsk. Many people worried about her. Masha existed in the corridor in a box that had been installed for her a cold January. In the year 2015, one of the citizens of the house looked into the box and was terrified. There was a newborn baby in the box, and Masha was warming the baby with her body. That baby was quickly taken to the hospital, where he survived, and all because of the cat Masha, because it was she who protected the baby from hypothermia. Number 4. Real Glendon, a boy from Ontario, Canada. lost his parents as a result of an accident that occurred while hiking on the mountain. The boy was taken to spend the night outside in extremely cold weather. Later on, the boy lay down to sleep for some time. He felt warm for covered body pressed to him. He thinks that maybe there really was a dog, but when he woke up in the morning, he saw 3 beavers sitting beside him. If it lasted not for them, the boy presumably would have died that cold night. Number 3. In the year 2008, the cat Tara from Brookfield had been experiencing the life of an average domestic cat for 6 years alongside the 3 sons of a married couple. May 13, 2014. Tara showed how strong her association with Jeremy was. She risked her life to save him. Jeremy was riding a bicycle on the lawn of his house, when a neighbor's dog ran to the boy, grabbed his right leg, and started to pull him off from the bicycle. Before Erica, the mother of the boy, survived to run up to him, but cat Tara, firing sharp claws, attacks the dog, pushing it to release the child. Then she struck the dog from the yard and turned to the boy. Number 2. In 2011, the orphan dog Nita from Krasnoyarsk rescued 4-year-old Andrei from death. That 4-year-old boy Andrei, who played and left the apartment, the child passed by a frozen pond where ducks were floating on the water, and he decided to feed them with bread. He served the birds from the shore, but then decided to go closer and fell on that water. The ice screams of the child were heard only by the dog Nita, who raised a loud barking. The boy's neighbor heard the barking, and as she came closer, and saw Andrei, who by that time was no longer running because of the cold. As a result, the child was released, dragged out of the water, and an ambulance was called. Gratitude to the dog Nita. The child persisted, and she herself was covered by one of the local residents. Number 1. The quietness and consistency of a normal day in Camp Unis were broken by this red-haired dog, which suddenly appeared from the garbage cans. You will be surprised when you find out who she was carrying in her teeth. When observers saw the terrible find of the dog, they were speechless. In the jaws of the stray animal was a newborn baby. It was apparent that the child had just been born. His umbilical cord was hanging out the dog jaws, and carried the baby to the nearest house. The lady living in the house was seriously shocked, but assumed and hurried to the aid of the baby, who became out to be a girl. It's unimaginable, but she survived. The dog carried her very easily and did not hurt her. The baby girl was driven to the hospital and was supported with the assurances of doctors she is healthy and out of danger. The city police are watching for the mother of the girl who performed this horrifying act, and the dog savior displayed as a celebrity. Local residents say that a real angel came down to the universe, and many people wanted to shelter the dog, but Angela, as the residents called, that it is actively maintained. She continues to inspect local waste and landfills reasonably. She is investigating to see if anyone else wants her help. Thank you for watching it. Inform your friends regarding this video, so that everyone understands about these animals who save people, and give us lessons of humanity. Subscribe to my channel and leave your comments below, and like. Till next time.